Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Monday, May the 23rd, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the woman, the legend, the myth herself, Miss Deb Lutt. How are you, Deb?
I need the cheers afterwards.
You know what? I'm going to have to pipe that in there. That's for sure. And if you see water falling in the background, that's the tears from Dirk flowing to the ground. Yeah, so let's start out, since it's the NBA pod, say, okay, Mavericks are down 3-0. I accept it. It hurts.
It hurts.
The Warriors are just, they're a championship team. They have the pedigree. They are proven, and Dallas is a little shorthanded.
Yeah, you did see they kept panning to Dirk, and you saw the look on his face. There were no tears, but boy, he looked sad.
He did. He really did. And it's frustrating because, you feel like you had game 2 and you had all this chance. But, I said this and I put it in the Discord, but I'll say it again. As a Mavericks fan, I couldn't be happier. Not that we're down 3-0, of course, but we made the conference finals. We weren't expected to. We put the league on notice. Luka's probably, and everybody can argue this and jump all over me, but I think he's the most accomplished offensive player in the league. I mean, he can score from anywhere in any way. Yeah. You prove it in the playoffs here. If you look at the all-time history of the playoffs, you've got Will Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, and Luka Doncic, and nobody close. We're talking LeBron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic, Bird. Those guys aren't in the same zip code as the three players I mentioned. So, Luka is in rare territory, and I think it's let the rest of the league, all the other teams are home watching. Yeah. People are going to want to play with Luka, and he's not the James Harden pound the ball into the ground a million times and back somebody down. He's going to get you the ball if you're open. Yeah. He would just assume have 20 points and 20 assists than 40 points. So, I say that because I think Luka only being, 23 years old, the best of his career ahead of him. And I think you're going to see the Mavericks get help for him. You're going to
needs a wingman. He just needs a wingman.
He needs a really good, wing that can shoot threes. He needs a center. And, so the future's bright for Dallas. I wanted to say that for the Mavs fans out there. Everybody knows I'm a Mavs fan. You can see it in the background. So I'm not sad. I'm glad that this was a bit of a coming out that, Dallas needs to draw some players now. No taxes in Texas, no state tax. So, I think
who do you want? Who's your number one guy to pair up with Luka?
Well, I think Rudy Gobert is a good chance because right now, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, they don't want to play together.
Right.
That has become very evident. They're not going to go away from Mitchell. I think it's Gobert that will go. And the Mavericks haven't had a legit center since, if you call Sean Bradley a legit center 25 years ago or whatever. I mean, they really haven't had a good center. And, I think this would be a good opportunity to, shore up the defense in the interior, which obviously needs to. And then there's a lot of unrestricted free agents that are going to come available that may want to come down there. And then you've always got the element that usually takes you over the top. You usually find a veteran or two that's still got game, that's at the end of their career. They'll take that veteran minimum to come and win a ring. So if you can get the big price guy, foundational center that can defend, and then add a veteran that's still got some game left, put them in with Luka, and then I think you've got you got a good combo, right?
They're not far. I like the Gobert. I like it because he's got the the defense. Then again, what about Embiid?
Philly will never let Embiid go. He'll be there forever. Yeah, you can't. They'll burn down the stadium in Philadelphia.
As a Sixers fan, live and die with Embiid. Oof.
Oh yeah, you cannot let him. They'd let everybody else go before him for sure. But, we can dream. I thought we had a shot at Giannis this year. He would have been an unrestricted free agent, but he signed a long-term deal.
Yeah. So I like Gobert, though. He fits in, and he's not even, he's not I don't know. Is he a max guy? I mean,
I mean, multiple defensive player of the year. I don't think he's really a max guy. I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
don't
one
think so
level
either.
below that.
So yeah, but
But I mean, if he can play defensive of the year, type of defense, he doesn't really need to score
no,
that much.
exactly. That would be amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice fit.
So
All
we'll
right,
see.
I got to put that bet down. $10 on Dallas to win it all next year.
There you go. I'm putting like 100 on it because I think they're there. Although we'll see. Let's see where we can get that as the off season comes up.
Nice.
But anyway, we've got a big chore today to talk
sure
about.
do.
Is how the hell are we going to figure out this Boston
Man,
Miami game when half the roster for these teams is questionable?
crazy. Yeah, this is a tough one.
It is a tough one. We did say everybody on the planet picked Boston the last game. So we said on this podcast, play it back. Miami's going to win that game because of what happened.
Totally.
And it happened.
And it happened, right?
It did. Well, listen, let's jump in. But I will say that this podcast today is presented by our friends at BetUS.com.pa. If you're looking to wager on anything you want to wager on, BetUS is the place to go. I've been a member there 16 years. They are awesome. Go to BetUS.com.pa and a tremendous offer here. You deposit $79 or more and use the promo code Coach Talk. You will immediately get a free 1-month all-access membership to Coach Talk. So you're in. It's a $75 value. We'll get you in Discord immediately. And you get the best of both worlds. Deb and I have done it, and we've built some good pots there and build up some good bankrolls. So betus.com.pa. If you're watching us, by the way, on YouTube, this is your chance at the beginning. Hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate that. That means a ton to us. It gets us to move up that algorithm on YouTube. Also hit the subscribe button and the little alert in the upper corner. So this way, when any of our podcast posts, 7 days a week NBA and MLB, once a week PGA, you get to all 15 of those podcasts. You get alerted as soon as they post. All right, so we've got the matchup. It's an 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Miami Heat Boston Celtics. Boston favored by 6 at home, 207.5 total, 100.75 implied for Miami, 106.75 implied for Boston. And here you go. This is where you want to get a cup of coffee, and this is going to take a while. So we've got, ready for this, questionable for Miami, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, PJ Tucker, Gabe Vincent. So just 6 of their top 9 players. That's all. Maybe 6 of their top 8. So we got to figure that one out. Then we've got, some wrinkles with Boston. Questionable for Marcus Smart and Robert Williams, and probable for Jason Tatum. The only one we know for sure is slinging Sam Hauser is out. Why we have to mention him, I don't know, but he's on the list. So the $1 million question, Deb, since you're the most respected DFS female provider, maybe just provider in general in the industry.
Is that a one of one?
I've seen other female providers on some of these podcasts. I've seen them. So I don't know. I think you're one of probably 6. And I think you're top 10 overall, male, female, or those that choose not to declare a gender or whatever. You have to put that on forms now too. So how many of these people are going to play and how many of them are going to sit?
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, I wish I had that crystal ball.
Deb, come on.
My leaning is that everybody but Robert Williams plays. That's kind of where I'm planning out my lineup right now. If I get a change in that news of any sort, I'll be quick to make some changes. I've got some backup plans, but I am I'm banking on Robert Williams still sitting. He's not playing a lot. Now, he has sort of done the every other day thing for a little bit, but there's been really no change in his status. I would have thought maybe they would have upgraded him if he was ready to come back. There's been no change yet. So I'm ruling him out for right now, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Yes. And I'll tell you, we'll be in Discord every moment of the day today, all the way up until tip of that game, and we'll have that information for you.
And
And
it's
it's
late, right?
imperative.
The game's not until 8:30 Eastern time, right?
Right. So we'll be posting lineups around 8:05 in Discord. Clipboards or main groupings, core plays for DraftKings, full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. But we'll base those on the news that drops, because all of it's important. There's not one of those guys that I mentioned that's questionable that doesn't matter. First of all, let's get out of the way the Tatum thing. He's probable. He said he's playing. I'm not going to talk about him. So on the Boston side, Marcus Smart, we know what a gamer he is. I can't imagine he doesn't play, although he's sat other games. So it's not a shoe-in. And then I'm with you. The guy most likely to sit's Robert Williams, because he sits a lot. And, but those are two key players, in my opinion. Marcus Smart, we've seen before. He's the straw that stirs that team, because when he's in, the whole defensive scheme changes. We talked about this the other day, and distributing the ball, etc., is very important. So we need to know that. And I think Robert Williams' news is huge. Not only is he an offensive presence when he's in there, but he is the BAM stopper. I mean, Robert Williams, I'm telling you right now, if he is able to stay healthy, which he hasn't in his young career, he's still a baby, he's an all defensive kind of center. I mean, he moves, his lateral movement and his explosion jumping is, it's elite. And I think that makes a difference in BAM. So that's why I think he's so important,
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Robert Williams is one of those guys. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's got a great future ahead of him. I mean, he does it all. I mean, he's pretty decent offensively as well.
Yeah.
And with his blocks, he's fantastic. Now I'm just reading right now an update from the coach that, as you said, Tatum's going to be fine. Udoka's actually saying that Smart's actually, he's getting treatment and he's going to be reassessed. So for his swelling ankle, so he's a little bit more dinged up even than Williams, because he's saying Robert Williams' knee is improving. So we definitely have to keep an eye on that. And that has, like you said, a big impact. A big impact for me. The question that I have is, should I stay as high on Horford as I am if Robert Williams comes back? I love Horford in this game tonight, but Robert Williams definitely has an impact on him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, it filling out your lineup, the whole, does Daniel Tice do anything? Does it bring Grant Williams into play? I mean, it's all, really imperative to know that information. And we said this the other day too. Generally, Marcus Smart, he understands himself. He's 100% player. So he's either, if he doesn't think he can give 100%, he's not going to go out there at 75% and just limp around. So he's either going to go or not go. So that's news after you just read that on what, the coach speak there.
Yeah.
You have to keep a very close eye on.
We will, for sure. Because it's definitely going to affect things for me, because I was putting Horford in all my captain spots tonight. So to make the lineups work. So I'm going to have to take a look at that.
Definitely. And then, as far as the Miami guys go, Butler already stated it himself last night that he's playing. So unless something crazy happens, Butler's in. The question with that is, he is a guy that will play hurt. So is he going to be as effective as he normally would be? Because a lot of what he gets is on pure hustle. So we have to, keep reading about that. Lowry, he's been so touch and go. We'll see. Strus has been listed every time and played. Same with PJ Tucker. He's going to drag himself out there. There's no doubt in my mind. Gabe Vincent, if he and Lowry play both, you've got to split there anyway that I'm not really crazy about. So, the only way I like Vincent or Lowry more is if one or the other sits. So I don't anticipate that. I think Miami is going to be a full go, in my opinion. We know that Miami has really tested the limits of the NBA rules. They've listed guys questionable every game throughout the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying into any of that.
No, I agree. I think they all play as well. Now, how well they play is another story.
Exactly. And that's always a tough call. All right. So that's the injury issues. And now we just have to talk a little bit about these teams. Where do we go? We're anticipating, for the purposes of this podcast, which is Monday morning. We'll certainly know more as the day goes on. But I guess we agree that we're going to just say all the Miami guys are in, and our questionable guys are Smart and Robert Williams. They, in my opinion, from what you added, could be somewhat 50-50-ish, 60-40-ish,
Yeah, exactly.
So let's try to build from there. So let's go with Miami first.
Okay.
Give us a little feedback on Miami. If everybody's in, what are we initially looking at here? How do you see this playing out? By the way, congratulations to you. And I guess we both deserve a pat on the back. Bam Adebayo was our poster child last time. We both put him at captain. It wasn't a popular choice. We got a few barbs on Twitter in different spots, and he was the leading scorer on the slate. So that was one for the Coach Talk side. On the positive side, the negative side was we all cashed everything because of him. We didn't have the guys that filled in the spots, or it'd have been takedown city. So
exactly,
that was
frustrating.
Yeah. So are you going back to Bam is the question.
Yeah. I mean, again, it depends on Robert Williams. Right now, I like Bam a lot. But if Williams gives it a full run, I don't think Bam has the kind of game that he had in the last game. So, but I do like him a lot. I think for one, I think they've figured out that they need him, which is what we said the last time. They absolutely need him in order to keep winning. Yeah. And then number two,
the game flat out.
That's right. And that's the thing is, with Butler being, hobbled a bit, they may be relying on him even more. So, so I do like him. I've got him in all my lineups right now. Even if Williams plays, I will keep him in. If Williams is out, I may go back to him at captain. So,
the sad thing is though, we got him at such low ownership the other day. Now everyone's going to have him.
Now everyone's going to have him. Exactly.
Listen to this stat line. So this is how good we felt about this guy. 41.5 minutes. Okay. 15 for 22 for a cool 68% from the field. 1 for 1 from the free throw line. 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block.
It's amazing. I mean, and go back and see when the last time was he had those numbers. It was probably the playoffs 2 years ago.
You know what? If you took the playoff, they've played how many playoff games coming into this one? 5 or something? I think that might have been his total numbers in those 5 games.
I know. We nailed it.
Well, the question is he going to do it again? That's the key.
Yeah. And I think not to that extent. As I mentioned, you
got to expect some regression, right?
Yeah, some regression, but I think they've figured a couple of things out. I think he will be. He's definitely, his price is still reasonable. When you put him in the mix with like a Brown, he's still coming out. He's still cheaper than Brown, and he's probably, from that standpoint, I'd put him ahead of someone like Brown.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys on the Miami side, I mean, I find that Hero keeps fitting in because he's still so cheap, but he is playing terribly.
Awful.
So I'm not as excited about him, but he may be a fill-in versus a Strus or versus a Vincent or someone like that.
Right.
The other guy, I'm staying away from Butler. I just feel like he's still very expensive. If he is a little bit dinged up, they don't absolutely need to win tonight. That maybe they go a little bit light. Maybe he even comes out at some point in the game. So I'm going to stay away from Butler. I'm afraid of his, his pricing and what he may bring. I think he's going to gut it, it out, but I just don't know if he can bring it all. Yeah. In which case, who do you go to? I've actually been toying around with Lowry a little bit.
Wow.
I know, which I know you said earlier, like he splits minutes with Vincent, but he played, I think, about 25 minutes the last game.
29.
29 minutes. Okay. So he should get at least that in this game. And he's also fairly low priced. So I am looking at a, kind of a lineup combination that includes him as well.
I have a quiz question for you.
Yeah.
Who shot the most three-point shot attempts for Miami in the last game?
It must have been Lowry.
It was. That's a promising
Excuse me, but how many did he make?
2 for 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little rusty on those threes.
Yeah, some of those, at least he's shooting. I like to, if they're shooting him, that means something to me.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and that's it. So I think he's gonna be involved in the offense. So I think taking a chance on him could be interesting again in more of a low ownership kind of situation. And then I might also be considering PJ Tucker, who, seems to be getting himself involved as well. And they need his defense for sure. But, Strus is, he gets really strong defense and he's just not showing that he can, nail it against Boston. So I'm not excited about Strus. The other guys, I mean, you just don't know kind of, Oladipo's gone backwards, again, the Boston defense, covers up,
Tough.
a lot of stuff. So, yeah, so I'm, as usual, I'm a little lighter on the Miami side, maybe more of the value plays, looking primarily at Bam, Lowry, and a little bit of Hero or Tucker.
Yeah. I'm still hurting so bad from, we had Bam as a captain and we had Butler in our lineups. And when he went down, because it was looking like we were going to take down everything everywhere. And with him, that injury just devastated us that last go around. But, his price is still where it is. And there's so much incurred risk here. Does he play less? Is he effective with, how he's playing? It's such a tough call. I mean, I would assume his ownership is going to be the lowest it's been in the playoffs so far, because everybody's fearing the same thing. And there's millions of us that got burned when he went out hurt. So, I'm tempted.
Might go with him, huh?
I'm tempted to go with him. And I mean, if you told me, choose the guy in the playoffs that's left that has the most grit and grind, you have one possession to win or whatever the case may be. He is just so nuts gutsy, Yeah. I think I'm going to try to steal him at low ownership and then just hold my breath the whole game. Because, the point you made is true. Bam, I'll roster him again. He's not going to have, I wouldn't assume that phenomenal of a game that he put out there. Now, he doesn't have to pay his number, so I'll have him. But after that, I don't trust a single solitary soul on that Miami team. I mean, you can, PJ Tucker is cheap, but you never know. He can get you a nice game like he did this last time with 17 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, if he can do that kind of stuff, great. Strus, he's getting tough D. He did make, 4 threes, so I respect that. We don't know how healthy Lowry is. He got shots up. Vincent only played 19 minutes because Lowry's back. Heroes, I cannot roster that kid anymore. I just can't do it. If he wants to make 10 threes and bury me, then God bless you, son, because he's been atrocious.
Yeah.
And he only played 20 minutes, 0 for 6 for 3 again. I'm not going to go there. And Oladipo looks like he's just washed. There's just nowhere else to go.
I know.
And I don't think Boston blows them out here. I think, so I'm going to spend the money and go probably Butler and Bam and then try to make it work with some of the Boston guys. So if people, you're going to get your casual guy playing in DFS that will play Butler and not realize the situation. But DFS is tough. Most people know what's going on. And I think you're going to have a lot of the sharps, a lot of the whales out there fading Butler because of that situation of, is he going to get full minutes? Is he going to be, himself? It's in Boston. Boston knows they have to win this game. So there's a lot of stacked against them. So I'll take that leverage. I'm Mr. Leverage today. I did the same thing in baseball earlier. So Mike S., if you're listening, man, leverage City on Butler today is my call.
Okay. I like it. I like the confidence.
Yeah, you gotta sell yourself on it first, right?
Yeah, and look on these single game slates, and that's why we were stoked about the last one where we picked Adebayo because nobody was, and I think similarly, I think you gotta an interesting point there. You gotta take some chances. So I like that. I think for me the alternative is to go in the captain's position. Not with Adebayo, not with Tatum, not with Butler, but with Al Horford.
Okay.
I'm going with Al Horford in the captain spot. I like it because it enables you to fit in, a couple of the bigger guys and not sacrifice, not have to go
low.
Yeah, not have to go down to the Pritchards and the Vincents of the world. Keep those out of the lineup because you could end up with, 9 fantasy points.
Right.
Really put in everyone, like not anyone who's going to give you at least a consistent 20 or 25 fantasy points. Again, if Williams plays, maybe that, compromises him a little bit, but I think Williams playing takes more away from Grant Williams than it does from Al Horford.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Horford's had good games alongside Williams. Robert Williams.
Yeah. And he's had a great playoffs. He did have, he missed that one game and then came back and had a relatively weak game, but he came back strong in game 3. So
ask Crash about Al Horford. He'll give you a few swear words.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
He killed Milwaukee.
He killed Milwaukee. Yeah. So I see him as being, a big part of the game today. If, Boston needs to win it, and if they do win, I see Horford being a big part of it. Little sneak peek, he will be one of my prize picks at over 1.5 threes. And I think they, so that's where I am. I'm very high on Horford. I will look to get a combination probably of definitely Brown. I'm probably more on Brown than I am on Tatum again, just a little bit. Tatum is Brown's a little more consistent. Tatum is coming off that little bit of a shoulder injury. Didn't play very well in the last game. But I'll probably try and kind of come up with a lineup where they're both in. And if not, it's going to be, Brown and Smart, assuming Smart plays. Right. So I'm really going to stay away from Grant Williams, who I do think gets a little bit less usage with Robert Williams back. And I'm not going anywhere near White, who I think is, kind of focused on his new child and not on the series. So that's where I am.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I don't want to, I'm with you. I'm so sick and tired of, and we've said this a lot, everybody falls in the same thing. And sometimes it helps you to win, but man, excuse me. The Peyton Pritchards, the Derek Whites, the Daniel Tices, even the Tyler Heroes anymore, the Gabe Vincents, the Victor Oladipos, the Dwayne Dedmans. I mean, it seems like we're always stuck playing one of those schmucks.
Yeah.
Because you have to make the salary work, and it's just so hard to get those guys there.
It's painful. Yeah,
it is. So, decisions have to be made. If you're looking, I think that's why Butler's going to be so low owned, by the way, because everybody's sick of that same situation. So you want to fade either Brown, Tatum, or Butler, or 2 of them even. And, because I'm playing Butler, it's going to eliminate my Boston options. So, you've got I like Tatum better than Brown here. So I want to make Tatum at 9.7. I'm talking DraftKings price.
Yeah.
And Butler at 9.6. If you do play those 2 guys and Bam at 6.8, you're in trouble then, because where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
So that's where, for me, I mean, Al Horford 6.5. That's a terrific price.
It's a good price.
And then, if you do go Strus 5.3, Lowry at 5.2, those are reasonable plays for me. if Robert Williams plays, he's in for me at 5-4.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day long. So you still can make it work. You certainly can't play Tatum and Brown in that scenario unless you're going to sit Butler, which I do think people think Boston is going to be all in. Boston's going to win this game, and it's all over. So I think you're going to see Brown and Tatum being the top two combo guys play. So that's the differentiator for me. I'm going to sit one of them. I'm going to try to make Tatum fit, if not Brown, but I'm only going to play one of the bigs there. And then we just need the dues,
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though. Let's say Marcus Smart sits. Do you at that point reach down to a Derek White or Peyton Pritchard only in the fact if Smart is ruled out?
Yeah. I mean, if Smart sits, you can totally do that. I would go Pritchard over White. I think he's more active, and he's shown that he can handle that, in this series. So I do. And then that changes the game, right? I mean, if Smart sits, and you can play someone like a Pritchard, it opens up a lot of dollars.
It does. And, I'll say the inverse too, because this is going to be what everybody's looking at. Let's say Robert Williams is out.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of putting Daniel Tyson there. Oh my God. That was such, I will not do that ever again. But does it bring Grant Williams into your lineup at 4-6? I know you don't like Grant, but I'm talking if Robert's sitting.
Robert sits. At 4-6. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to take a look at it versus it's the combination too, right? Because I do like if Smart sits, then I like somebody like a Lowry even more.
Right.
And he's down there, fairly inexpensive.
5-2.
I think I would definitely consider Grant Williams. He's got to be on your consideration list if Robert sits.
Yeah. I do. The one thing, for me that elevates Al Horford to the level that you like him, I think he's a great play if Williams sits or not, but I think he becomes an elite play if Robert Williams sits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we need that news, but it's worth talking about. So I do think it's easier to get to some of these guys because so many of the starters and key minutes guys do have low enough salaries that you can make it work.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about Tucker? Tucker's the one who's the lowest really at 4,200. So,
yeah. I mean, he had a great game and he looked very involved last game. So he'll get a lot of ownership. He's got a big shot to make my lineup. I mean, it's going to come down to that news in Boston. But I do, the only problem with Tucker, and we say it all the time. I mean, he can put up the solid numbers, good enough to get you by for price per dollar DFS dollars. But he also can throw a lot of clunkers in there too. So, you got to be careful. But I think you'll see him owned a lot more than he's been even.
Yeah, I think so as well. Again, you have limited options, so
right.
It's going to be a tough one. I think this is one. We'll be in Discord. You and I should be chatting it up, kind of comparing notes once we get some of the news, because I think there's some key changes possibly that will need to be made.
Yeah, and I put Daniel Tyson everywhere when Robert Williams was ruled out late, and so. When you don't have time to think it through, I'm not going to make that mistake. That's why we're talking it through so much today, because I want to have contingency plans in place.
I agree.
Because, I think a lot of people did that, though. I mean, that was the natural play, but it ended up being a disastrous play.
So we're going to say note to our members, no Tice, no Dedman, no Vincent.
No.
Keep them out.
Leave those guys out, regardless if everybody's out. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. How about prize picks, Deb?
Yeah, let's see what we got here. So
we already know your first one, but you can share it again if you like.
I can share it again. Exactly. So yes, I really like Al Horford at over 1.5 threes. He's consistently, when he's in the offense, he's consistently hitting his threes at a really nice clip. he's had as many as, well, I don't know. What did he have last game? He had 3, I believe, right?
I will plop on there real quick. He was, Mr. Al Horford was 3 for 5 from 3, 7 for 14 from the field, and he added 14 rebounds.
Yeah, he had a lot of rebounds. I know he was involved. He was very active the last game. So yeah, I really like him. He's been pretty safe over that 1.5 threes. I think with the exception of that one game, he didn't play very well. So that's my first pick.
I like it. I'm taking Al Horford over PRA, points, rebounds, assists, 23.5. I think he's an adept passer. He's always has been. And like you said, he's been very involved on the glass, and he's scoring the ball. He can shoot the 3. He follows stuff up. So I like all the different areas. And again, this is a must-win for Boston. Yeah. And he's had a terrific playoff. So I really like him over that number, 23.5 PRA.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Similarly, I'll go PRA over for Bam. So he's at 27.5. And all he needs to do is 17. He's also an adept passer. So
he is.
He just needs to, 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists, and he's there. And I think all of those are doable. So so I'm going with Adebayo over 27.5 PRA.
I like it. I think that's a great play. I'm going to go with over 1.5 combo blocks and steals Jason Tatum. I think that's so doable. I think Jason Tatum is just such a complete player. I mean, not only a phenomenal scorer and playmaker, but he's a great defender. Yeah. And, people don't realize how young he is. I mean, he's like Luka kind of age, just maybe 1 year older. And he's an all defensive kind of guy himself. So must-win game for Boston, over 1.5 block steals combo for Jason Tatum.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. So that might be, that was one that I was eyeing for Tatum. Tatum, there were a few that I was eyeing. The other one, I keep going back to it because it's hit for me every single time, is the turnovers. So I'm going over 3.5 turnovers for Tatum. The ball's in his hands all the time. Yeah. He tries to do a lot, and sometimes that gets you into trouble. Miami's defense is tough, very active hands. So I'm going to go, I think he gets at least 4 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, you got to go back to the well when it keeps giving you the water, No doubt. And that's it do you have any other prize picks?
No, that was it. That was it for me. Yeah.
Me too. So we've got ours, and we'll put a few more in there in Discord as time goes on this afternoon. So again, our presenting sponsor today, appreciate them, BetUS.com.pa. Join there for the first time with a deposit of $79. Use that promo code Coach Talk. You get a free full month, all access, everything we've got here at Coach Talk. Just use that promo code Coach Talk, and we'll get you in Discord right away for the free month. So thank you to betus.com.pa. Also, if you're watching on YouTube on the way out, thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the little alert up in the corner. We really do appreciate that. So that is it, Deb. I think that is a breakdown for as good as we can do without some of the news. Yeah.
Well, we gave a lot of our thinking. Now we're going to see which way it plays out. So
that's it.
Awesome.
So we'll be, follow us throughout the day, and we'll check that out as news breaks. So thank you, Deb, as always. Appreciate you, and everybody have a fantastic Monday. Let's start off the week with some winners, and hopefully we'll certainly get in there and get some things posted with some W's and some takedowns. So thanks for joining in, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS and Prize Picks NBA.